Viewer warning, this video continues on the topic begun in today's previous video. There is no gameplay, it is entirely theoretical and focused on MWO loadouts. If you missed the previous video featuring the grasshopper, it is recommended viewing to help this video make more sense. Also, the player claims.
But anyway, I'm going to keep on talking because another thing I need to address basically is the first one, which is the AC5, 10, 20 machine gun, SRM, LRM into one package. That is actually a very bad one and a tricky one to do because first off, you've picked bulky weapon systems, 20s and 10s. They don't really play well with other things that much. You've got like 5 or 6 different ranges as well. You've got short range, you've got the machine guns, you've got the ACs and all different ranges and things like that. And yeah, things like that. So let's hang on. King Crab. Let's grab the King Crab. That seemed to be the most viable for me in terms of trying to get that particular arrangement sorted out. I'm not actually going to make this loadout right now, but I am going to talk about it. So strip this mech out. Yes, here we go. Okay, so yeah, to mix those 3 particular ACs, you basically require, like, you require 3 sections with ballistics overall. Because you got your AC20, takes up an entire set, and then you want your AC10, put that over there. But then, where's your AC5 going to go? It can't go with them. It could go into the torso, actually. Hang on. Yes, I want to cancel that, thank you. Let's grab the Mauler. Let's grab my Mauler. Here we go, my AMI. Strip this one out. And this is the big problem with your AC loadout, really. I think the AMI could... the AMI can do most of that particular setup. Like, I can put an AC20 there, I can put an AC10 there. It's got the space for the AC5 that can go in there. And then I can put in a machine gun as well, so that can go there. So look at that, got all that stuff. And then an SRM and an LRM. I can actually do that, but they have to be smaller variants only because I don't have the slots. Because of how this mech's set up. But yeah, finding the right mech to carry all that stuff, just not really that easy. So yeah, this mech could technically carry that kind of loadout. But then you get back into the problem I was mentioning during the first game at the end of that one, which is a case of all these different weapon ranges. Like this one, as you can see, optimum range 270, max 540, 450 range 900, 620 range 1240, machine gun, yeah, optimum range 120, max 240. So yeah, even the machine guns are like that. The SRMs though, they function kind of similar, so 270s. So they could pair fairly well with the machine guns, except the machine guns have a much faster travel time, so then you run into the same problem of the shots getting there at different times, so you don't really want to fire them together. You could probably pair them with the AC20, but then you wouldn't be able to use the AC20 at range, because you'd be firing a flurry of missiles, and it's like the missiles will just detonate halfway to your target or something like that, so that wouldn't work. You could pair these systems with the LRM though, because the LRM could lock on, and then they would seek the target even as you keep trying to fire at it with the AC, but if you're leading the target over a distance, you might lose your missile lock, so that's another issue. So again, wouldn't really work too well, I don't think. This design is just too all over the place, and because of how bulky everything is, that restricts the rest of your loadout as well, because 54.5, I don't even have an engine in this thing yet, and it's got to be a standard engine, so I could probably whack a 300 in there, I suppose, but that leaves me like 10.5 tons, and I've got to put in ammunition for these 6 different systems, so I'd also be short on ammo as well unless I actually stripped myself down with a small engine or something like that. So if I drop that engine there, that's okay for 10, and that leaves me with a total of 17 tons for ammunition. So yeah, I could actually put together a loadout like this, and it would work, sort of. But then you get to all the different weapon ranges and stuff like that. So this, it looks okay on paper, but combining it into a nasty package, Yeah, nasty package, this is not. Let's go to column mode and look at that. Lots and lots of different random weapon systems. So basically, what you got here is more or less a Frankenmech design because it's got a bit here, a bit there. It's got different bits patched on to here, there, and everywhere. So it doesn't look like a very nasty design, and its weapons are not harmonizing with each other at all for the most part because they've all got different ranges and different profiles and different damage and different ammo, and there's just too much you're trying to fit into a single mech here, to be quite honest. This is you've got lots of choice. You could choose what weapon system you want, but they don't play well with each other. I think that's what I'm trying to say. They would not play well with each other at all. If you're willing to sacrifice some of the variety in that request, though, then let's actually undo all the changes, grab it back. The Ami itself, this is technically a nasty loadout, but it's also a specialised loadout because it goes with just flat out 4 LBX 10 ACs. So as soon as it gets into range of these LBX 10 ACs, it does horrendous damage, especially if the armor on the target is gone. So if the enemy's armor is damaged and full of holes, this thing will tear things to shreds incredibly quickly. So in that respect, this is a very nasty loadout. Though that said, it's kind of slow and it's a big target and it doesn't have any long-range firepower or indirect firepower at all. So it's compromising itself to focus on that single weapon system there to deliver that damage, you know? And it's also the same story with the mech I took out yesterday, the boomstick. It's very nasty. It's focused on 2 weapon systems. Within the range of those weapons, it's an incredibly dangerous machine. Outside that range, or beyond the skills of its pilot, in my case, it's not that effective, but it's also got some good mobility and it can move around and deliver that firepower where it needs to. So, again, this is actually a very nasty, very specialised kind of mech. A good example of combining weapon systems, let's actually go back to my crabs. Actually, I think I'm going to split this off as a separate video, to be quite honest, because I'm babbling on about different kinds of loadouts and things, aren't I? Anyway, yeah, I think it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, this is an example here. The my Quad Zero King Crab is a good example. This is the loadout I showed in a video like a month ago, I think. So yeah, let's go ahead and expand this one. As you can see, this is a nasty loadout. It packs a very, very serious bite at close range with its quartet of SRM6s, so it's incredibly dangerous in that respect. And at medium range it packs these large pulse lasers. So it's still got some decent firepower at medium range, but its specialty is very much close range. And I never actually finished this design because it's still missing like 1.8 tons, so that's a point. I forgot I'd never finished this particular loadout, but yeah. It demonstrates my point though, I think, because weapons working together, it can keep using those, but up close it's got all these things which just blow people's heads off, kind of thing. And I think this is also a good example, I suppose. My Mauler Art variant. Yeah, I apologise. I'm definitely going to split this off into a separate video, to be quite honest. Yeah. Quartet of LRMs is its primary firepower, so that gives it all-range indirect fire specialisation, so that's really good. At closer ranges, it's got the medium lasers installed in its arms as backups, so at close range it's not very nasty at all, but as a long-range indirect fire support mech, it is incredibly dangerous because it's got this rapid-fire missile system installed, so that's, again, specialised. So I think that is... I've demonstrated my point here, I think, quite nicely. Yeah, I think this is a good one as well, possibly. Yeah, focused on the large lasers. As you get closer, you get the medium lasers involved as well. And at practically any range outside short range, you've got the LOM5s providing support in this one. So, yeah. I've been rambling too much, but I think I've got it here. I think I've covered enough examples, really. too many weapon systems is generally a bad thing if you can't control them. So it comes down a bit to the pilot and the mech and the available controls you've got, but all in all, too many weapon systems that are too different will not make a nasty mech at all. They'll make a very diverse mech, they'll make a very flexible mech, but it'll be a very much a jack-of-all-trades, master-of-none situation, because it won't be able to use all of its weapons effectively under like 95% of the time situations, kind of thing. So it's better to tune your mech to a couple of situations where you want to bring your weapons to bear and do it that way. So yeah, I'm sorry, I've really been going on focusing on why it's a bad idea, haven't I? But as I said, the other two loadouts you suggested, like packs with large med small pulse, that's okay-ish, or just flat out large med small laser, that would actually be a pretty viable one if you could build a mech around it. But that mix of ballistics and missiles, not a good idea, to be quite honest. Yeah, sorry to say that, sorry to lay that out on you like that, but I just thought I should try to respond to that one a bit more thoroughly. Do I have any other good examples? I don't think I do. That's a specialist mech. This one is... No, that's a bit too weak. My basic catapult is a bit too weak for this one, because it's specialised on its LRM system. So it's got the single weapon system and then it's just got backup, so that's not a good one. Do I have anything else? Don't think so. No, I don't think I have any other good examples I can use. Actually, that might be a good example. Not that one, this one. Okay, this Centurion, last example, the very last one. It's got a bunch of different weapon systems. It's got the AC-20 for its close range firepower. It's got SOM4s as a backup weapon. Again, that gives it a bit more bite at close range. And at long ranges, it's just got the LRM. So that incorporates part of what you suggested with that mixed loadout. But it's got just the AC-20 backed up by various missile systems for a fairly effective package, to be quite honest. This thing is fairly effective. But this mech just doesn't have the tonnage to mount a full set of AC-20, AC-10, AC-5, plus LRMs, SRMs, machine guns kind of thing. It just doesn't have the loadouts, doesn't have the weight, doesn't have the slots. Honestly, mechs with a lot of ballistic slots are kind of rare, to be quite honest. They're not very common at all, especially ones with them spread out enough to actually fit all of the different ballistic systems. So yeah. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about focusing so much on all that, but I just wanted to try and respond to it, you know? Kind of thing. I don't know. Hopefully this response is good for you. Or if you really want me to, I can try this for next weekend's videos, I guess. I can try some loadouts exactly matching what you suggested. I don't know, but yeah. For now, these two videos today have been my response to that and explaining some of the core systems involved, I think. So, man, I'm feeling really awkward now because I think I've just been laying into things a bit and it's like, No offense intended, if any offense was given, but yeah. This has been I Am Mark III. Thank you very much for watching both of these videos, since I'm going to cut this in half to make two. And I hope you were okay with the show and with me just like going babble, 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 talking my head off. And I'll catch you all some other time. Yeah, man, these two videos feel really awkward, but I've recorded them, so I'm going to put them out anyway. Yeah. I'll see you all later. Why the hell am I flushing? I feel really embarrassed about these. Jeez. I feel so embarrassed.